Welcome everyone to another King Reflections podcast. My name is Daniel Oliver, your host. I'm a graphic designer and a personal trainer by trade and starting to do my life coach course. And today I actually want to talk about why do we limit ourselves? And in the context of when someone says, oh, why don't you play an instrument? Oh, I'm not creative. Oh, I'm not musical enough. I'm not talented enough. And straight away we've put a limited belief on ourselves, in the sense that we can't do something because, we've had experience, or, putting my fingers up here, in quotation marks, we've had experience trying to do it before and we've done it once in our life. And because we were pretty bad at it, or it seemed that we're pretty bad at it, that we've condemned ourselves to believe that we'll never be able to be musically talented, creative, or be able to talk in front of a group of people and do public speaking, in a sense. But why do we actually limit ourselves? I don't think it's because we're not talented or we're not gifted that most people believe. I believe that's a fixed mindset. I believe we are all actually talented. We're all, gifted in certain ways. We're all creative. I believe we're all creative beings, because we creating solutions is a way of being creative. So yes, obviously genetic wise, someone that's taller is going to be able to, maybe jump higher, or, there's certain genetics, being able to sprint faster, in a sense, but that doesn't stop us from becoming faster than what we are now. So we shouldn't really limit ourselves in the sense that, yes, compared to someone else, maybe we're not so athletic, or not so, mindset or creatively thinking wise of outside the box. Maybe we're more logical than someone else, but we can push and exercise and practice to push our boundaries and to be faster and to be more creative and think outside the box. Might not come, as people say, as naturally to us, but we can practice to be better and to, be more creative, be more athletically enhanced, so to speak. Putting a limit on ourselves will hinder us, or it will creep into the rest of a part of our lives, in a sense. Once you have one limiting belief, it doesn't just stop there. Subconsciously and unconsciously, you'll start creating other limiting beliefs about yourself. So it's always best to be like, why do I actually limit myself? And I really think it comes down to apathy. We don't really want to do something, maybe because, let's say public speaking, for example. A lot of people say, oh, I'm not a public speaker. I'm not talented. I can't talk in front of everyone. Well, of course you can't, not if you're not doing it at all. But if you put yourself out there and try, and with a little bit of practice over time, you'll be able to do it a lot more fluently and easily. But I think it's because people are like, I don't want to actually speak in public, so I'll make up this excuse of, no, I'm really bad at it, to excuse myself from actually doing public talking. Same with musical instruments. People have this mindset of, oh, I'm not musically talented. Well, you don't need to be musically talented, in a sense, to read standard notation of music and to play something at that specific time that it tells you to. It's kind of like reading. When you're reading it, the word comes along and you say it out loud. That's when you say it out loud. When you've come across it, same with music. It's like a sentence. There's notes on a page and you just play them when they come along to the right time. It's not excessively hard. It is obviously to get the motor skills of your fingers and your mind, obviously, to play fluently and to memorize when the notes are coming next and to create that muscle memory. Yes, it might be difficult, but it's not excessively hard once you put your mind to it and go, you know what, I'm going to try to learn this. I am going to learn it. And once you start practicing and start putting it out there and start actually doing it, it becomes a lot easier, and the more practice and the more exposure you've had yourself to it. So I don't think it's so much that we believe that we're actually not talented, or we believe that we're not creative, or we believe that we're not athletic. I think it's just that apathy we're lazy. We don't really want to do it, so we'll just make up this excuse. And this comes from sort of the Adlerian psychology. Can't remember the full name guy, the full person's name that started this concept of Adlerian psychology. But if you read the book, The Courage to be Disliked, he talks a lot about the concept of we make up excuses to avoid doing something that we don't want to do, when actually we can do it. We do have the ability to do it, but because we don't want to do it, we'll make up something to excuse ourselves from actually doing it in the first place. So why do we limit ourselves? I really think it's because we're lazy. It's not that we're not talented. It's not that we're not creative. It's not that we're not gifted. I think we all are. And, some people to a certain degree, yes, some people think more logically minded. Some people think more out of the box minded. Some people are a lot more curious than others. Some people question more than others. We're all obviously got our own unique traits and stuff like that, but we all have the ability to learn a new skill. We all have the ability to push our boundaries and actually participate in something that's out of our comfort zone, but we just don't do it and we make up these excuses that we can't do it at all. And we put this limiting belief, oh no, I can't do that. I'm not that kind of person, or I can't do this. I'm not creative. I'm not athletic. When it's actually coming from the attitude of, I'm just lazy. I don't want to do it. That's too much effort. That's too much to think about. That's too much energy to put into it when I'm not going to get anything back out of it. When really it's just like, sometimes it's exciting to do something that you've never done before. Even learning a whole new language, it's like, you know what, I'm going to try it. Let's give it a go. Once you start learning a few words, you're like, you know what, this is actually a bit more easier than what I expected. And once you get the wraparound of how, structure of sentences are in that language or in that culture, and so understanding their logic of how they structure words and sentences together, in a sense, it becomes a lot more understanding. And I guess the more you understand it, the more exposure you bring yourself to it, the more you'll appreciate it. And the more you will realize that the belief that you had on yourself all along is something you just made up because you were hesitant or scared or maybe, afraid to start something new, in a sense. So my thing is, I never limit myself on anything at all. There's things that I'll say, like, really, I don't want to do it. And I'll be like, someone else can do it. Like, for example, cooking. I hate cooking. And, people say, well, I can make up the excuse, I'm not a very good cook. It's like, obviously I'm not a very good cook because I haven't practiced it and I don't want to practice it. I hate cooking, period. I'd rather pay someone else to do it. I'd rather, go to my parents and say, cook me up a meal. Thank you, Mum. Love you. But I know if that I put my mind to it and if I put my effort into it and if I put my attention into cooking, I reckon I could become not a great cook, obviously, and not a master chef or whatever, but I think I'll become a good cook if I really wanted to put my time and effort into it. It's because I don't want to put my time and effort into it because I feel like I can put that time and effort into somewhere else. And that's what makes me not a good cook. It's not that I can't do it, and it's not that I'm not creative or, logically minded, or, it's not that I'm not gifted of why I'm not cooking. It's because I'm really lazy when it comes to cooking, period. My cooking is putting a cereal in a bowl, putting some milk, and you eat it like that. No stirring involved. Same with Milo. You get milk, you get Milo, maybe stir it once or twice, but then you eat the Milo off the top, and then you drink the milk. None of this stirring for excessively long time. No, that's not how Milo is supposed to be eaten. So I think it becomes to laziness, and really call it out for what it is. Really call it out for what it is. When the next time you say, oh no, I can't do that, it's like, no, you won't do that. Every time I say something like, well, I've pretty much stopped myself saying, oh, I can't do that. Obviously I can't, push out a baby because I'm not a female. That's something I can't do, period. But with other things, with activities, with anything to do with the physical body in a sense of, a certain skill, whether it be, painting, drawing, whether it be, football, or, there's a good one. I don't like football, but I know that if I put my mind to it and effort into it and I practice, I can become a good football player. Not an exceptional football player because I don't really want to be, but I know that if I put the effort and energy into there, I can become a good football player. But it's because I'm not interested in these things, and because we're not interested in these things, we will shy away with, oh no, I can't do that, rather than just calling it out and going, no, I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy and I don't really want to. It's not something that I'm drawn to, for example, rather than hiding behind this victim mindset or fixed mindset of, oh no, I can't do that. I wasn't born with those genetics. I wasn't born with that kind of mind. I don't have that talent to sing really good. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you can. You actually can if you put effort into it. It's just that you're lazy. Anyway, I encourage you to be more open-minded. Give yourself a try. Even if you want, start something new and then message me in 5 days or whatever, or 5 weeks, or however long it takes you to, become at least decent with the activity, and let me know. I want to see how you go. Don't limit yourself. I believe you can do anything that you put your mind to. I believe that you can do anything that anyone's told you that you can't or you don't do very well. Some people say you don't do English very well. I do maths really well. Once you practice, you can show them all up and be like, actually, I can do English really well. Just because I'm a slow learner doesn't mean that I can't do it really well. So don't limit yourself. Don't put any limiting beliefs on yourself. You have the potential and the ability to do anything. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let anyone stop you. Even if it takes you longer to learn something than somebody else, doesn't mean that you can't be a master at it and overtake someone in their ability to do something really well. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next podcast. King up.